Well, hello everybody. Me 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 me. Just annoy everybody.
We're gonna just do a whole Beaker episode. Just a whole
This
Beaker
is
episode.
Yeah, I should just put a warning before this in post and edit. Warning. This is a Beaker exclusive episode.
I like the idea of us talking, but we have like closed caption, and it actually says what we're saying, like what we would be saying.
Oh yeah.
It's all real. It's all. Well, maybe it'd be funnier if it was just beep beep beep. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome everybody. Thank you for being here.
We
Episode
appreciate
34.
34.
Yeah.
But, this is episode 34. You're right. Wow. I mean,
Is it? Well, now I'm second guessing.
No, it is.
myself.
It is.
Okay.
You're right. We
not good
had
at
this. We had this figured out the last time, and we should also let the audience know Sweetums is a great assistant, great friend.
Absolutely.
Not great with math. Not his
Nobody
strong
in this
point.
room is good.
Yeah, let's be fair. Yeah, nobody in this room is great with math. If we're just doing adding, I'm still looking at my hands.
I
And
know.
Stuff, so.
Yeah. We should really have Matt up here, just like assisting
Yes.
Sweetums.
There's the math there. So, my dad. Yeah. That. Well, we appreciate you so much hanging out with us
Yes, thank you so much.
for another great episode here. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. As we get sillier and sillier, we appreciate you guys getting
man.
better and better about listening and hanging out with us, and interacting with
I
us.
feel like since that, the song gate, we've just gotten so goofy, and we can't go back.
Nope, there's no putting that genie back in the bottle. Thonggate is a great way to put that, by the way. I had that same terminology in my head. I just haven't heard somebody else say it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been living in my mind.
I appreciate you having fun with that.
Yeah,
And I'll say this, that to me, if you can't laugh at yourself, you're not getting the joke.
Yeah. No, it was very funny, and that meme that our friend made was so funny, so well done. It's almost like baking. Like, I'm a baker, so I bake a lot of goods for our house, but it tastes better eating somebody else's cookie because you didn't bake it.
Mm-hmm.
I make a lot of memes and I have fun doing that, but it's so fun to have somebody else make a meme for
I get
you.
that. I get that.
It's so funny.
We really love, and I don't know, maybe a lot of the podcast world is like this, but I love that we have this show and it's its thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then the social media aspect of it is a
Yeah.
whole other aspect of the
Oh my
show,
gosh,
and a real extension of the show.
Yeah.
If you enjoy the pod, I cannot encourage you enough to follow us on Instagram, Facebook.
Yes, please. We have we don't have a Facebook.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm just so used to saying that.
Yeah.
You can look on Facebook. I don't think
Right.
you'll find us. But you really should follow the Instagram page. It's
We
probably
have so much fun on there.
Yeah. It's worth just creating an account just to follow what the Muppet.
Yeah,
It
please
really
do.
is.
We honestly have so much fun. I love talking. I run the Instagram, and you're on the Instagram too. I have so much fun, like, talking to you guys in the comments, and we get so many nice DMs, and we've just made so many friends, so many Muppety pals.
It's really easy. It's low-hanging fruit to rip on social media, and I could do that with the best of them.
There are highs
like
and
most of
lows.
us could. But
Yeah.
I think that out of all of them and out of the highs, I get the most from Instagram, and I get the most interaction with people from there, and it's really fun to be able to do that. We appreciate you guys doing that with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. I apologize to anybody who's followed us on TikTok and they're like, they never post on here. I changed our bio to we're not on here.
That was
We're
great.
mostly on the picture app.
We, hey, you got, we're trying to get the pod out there, and we all know that no social media, no newspaper, TV, radio, nothing can compete with word of mouth. So spread the word of the show.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, please spread the word about the other podcasts we have interacted with, the other artists we've worked with.
Yes.
Support
Let's
the
all
arts.
support each other.
Mm-hmm.
This little Muppety community.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that Muppety community.
I really like that. That's
It's got a
really
ring
good.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I might need to show up on maybe some apparel. We got merch.
Oh,
We got
slide
merch.
that right in.
Yeah, we got merch. Bria worked really hard on creating some
so much fun
merchandise for
making
us,
them.
and you guys wanted it. We wanted to do something like that. It's kind of fun. We were just talking about this a little bit in our pregame, but this pod started about something you and I wanted to do together. You and I doing something creative together for fun, and it's really blown up to a community, and you guys embracing us and taking us into the Muppet universe with you. this merch thing is the same thing. We both had the idea of doing a shirt for each other.
Yeah, we just wanted to have shirts.
Yeah, and something like that. And now we heard from you guys that you want this stuff too. So we're like, hey, let's just open it up for everybody.
The way my heart just glowed that other people also wanted that stuff. Because it's just fun to have personalized items and things.
It's truly one of the more humbling things I'll ever experience is doing this and being able to interact with all you. We appreciate you.
Yeah. When I was making all of the merch images and stuff, I was just thinking about you guys and you and all of our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
When
I have come up with the one idea I have,
I like the pocket idea.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
Cute.
It's all right. It's just also the end of the line for me. I won't probably come up with anything else.
That's okay. Because you're here and we're going to do the show.
And I put all my creativity into this. Yes. And on with the show. I believe you go first this time.
Yes, I do. Yes. Okay, let's see. The Muppet Fact.
So, and it's close. It's still a close race between facts and thank you,
Sweetums is mocking the chalkboard erasers. Maybe after I'll help you.
I don't know if you guys can see that. Wow.
Yeah, I'll try to edit that.
Oh, my eye.
Oh, you alright? Well, chalk dust.
Acting.
Our audio audience.
It's a poor audio.
Get on with it.
Yeah. Please move on.
Okay, and we are tied with another fact.
Whoa, wow. Didn't see that coming.
Wow,
cool.
no,
Cool.
yeah.
Very shocking.
It hurts.
Go with it.
It hurts. Okay. From June 28th, 1981 to January 24th, 1982, the book Miss Piggy's Guide to Life earned its spot on the New York Times bestseller list for an impressive 29 weeks.
Okay.
It was written by Henry N. Beard, who is one of the founders of the magazine National Lampoon.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, what a great combination there. That's a really good fit.
Very interesting that it was written by him. I don't know the context behind that book. I think I added it to my TBR. TBD. But I really want to read this now.
Oh yeah. I want to know just what it's about and everything. Actually, I would like to read it, but I don't know much about it, to be honest.
Let us know if you guys have read that book. What do you thought of it? If we should read it.
It's a really cool fact.
Yeah, I like that. If you had to write a book. Oh, I already know the answer. Gonzo.
I'm already writing. As soon as you said that, I started writing it in my head.
What would you name it?
Oh. Wow. Weirdo.
Oh, that's
just weirdo.
Perfect.
Just,
yeah. I feel like so many books now are memoirs are going more to that of the one word.
Yeah. As the day that we're recording this, it's actually Billy Crystal's birthday.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I sent you a shout out on the radio and everything about his book and promoted his book and everything. Make sure to check out that bio. It's really
700 Sundays. I adore that book so much. I really hope he got my letter, my little punch needle that I made him. What if he got it today? That would be so cool.
That would be perfect. Oh, be a birthday present. That'd be great. That'd be good.
It's funny because a few weekends ago, Matt and I went up to Superior, Wisconsin to go visit some family on my mom's side, and we stayed with them. And my cousin, who is also my boss, we were in a Goodwill, and we were both in the books section. And I was like, oh, hey, I've read that book this year, and it was 700 Sundays. And my cousin was like, oh, I'm going to read it now.
Nice.
So now he's going to read it.
Yeah,
so now he's going to read it, and Grandpa's reading it. Or
yep.
did he
he is.
reading it?
Yes, he's loving it.
I can't,
yeah.
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's already finished it.
It's a pretty, it's not a long book, and it's very, it's so entertaining, you just devour it. Yeah. It didn't take me long.
Check that out, everybody.
Yeah.
And happy birthday, Mr. Crystal.
Happy birthday! We love you, Billy Crystal.
Yeah, big fan. Well, all right. Let's see here.
Who could it be? Oh, if I was to write a book, it would be Gonzo.
Oh yeah. I wanted to ask. Who?
Kermit.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Not of course in the sense of I mean, he's kind of.
It's your Gonzo.
It's my Gonzo and everything, but I also, even if he wasn't your favorite, I think you would write well for Kermit. I think you would write well for him and incorporating him in something.
Why am I gonna cry? I'm an emotional creature.
That's all right. That's one of the things we love about you.
Thank you.
Okay. Random Muppet time, everybody. Random Muppet time. Let's see
Who's
what
it
we
gonna
got
be?
here.
Muppet movie or Muppet?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about something, and I was almost gonna like drag this out even longer. But I'll just go. All right. Who is it?
Who is it? What is it?
I'll show you guys first. Yeah. You ready?
No. Oh no! Oh my god!
Kermit!
Oh my god!
It's Kermit.
Oh my gosh, this is so weird because I had a feeling as soon as I said I would write a book about him. Like, what if we pulled him?
How crazy is that?
Oh man.
It's perfect.
Oh, I'm shaking.
I am too.
The big guy.
So I almost wanted to. I was going to almost say this to you off air. That I kind of wanted Kermit to be our last one.
I had a feeling he was gonna maybe be our last one. I mean, this is perfect though. Like whenever he was gonna pop up.
It's the essence of the show. We don't design that anyway. We don't, other than it's something that I haven't seen or something like that where we've had to do that. Yeah. We go with the improv. We go with the way this is. So we drew Kermit, and here we are.
This is Kermit's episode.
Ooh, this is the big one though.
Oh
This is
gosh,
the one. I was more nervous about this one than I was the Gonzo one. Like when we first started this, there were two main Muppets I was nervous about. It was Kermit and Gonzo.
Oh man.
When we pulled Gonzo, I didn't feel nearly as nervous. I feel that with this one. I'll be honest with y'all. I feel that this is the biggest character there is. This is the biggest. There is no bigger Muppet.
The Muppet, yeah. It's crazy how far away Gonzo and Kermit have been pulled too, like our guys.
Yeah, very. Well, this also, now that I think about it, it kind of takes a little bit of, now going forward, we're like, okay, we got those two done. It's a little bit of the pressure off.
I can relax. Yeah.
I will warn the audience right now. Take a break, go to the bathroom if you need to. Or anything. This is going to be a long episode. We're going to have some fun with this one. Yes, we will. And now intermission. Yes, we are going to have some fun with this episode.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know where you begin.
You stole the words out of my mouth. How do you describe Kermit?
I think almost you could almost tie anybody's love of the Muppets to Kermit. Yeah. He may not be your favorite Muppet. He may not even be in your top 5 favorite Muppets. But you don't fall in love with the Muppets if not for Kermit.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty safe.
He kind of reels you in.
Yeah. I want to look up the real details of Kermit. I meant to do this with Sam, but I didn't feel it as important. But with Kermit, I mean, we got to get this one right.
I want to make sure silly level with
get everything.
I almost feel like sober now from our silliness.
It really did kind of like straight.
It was very sobering.
It really did. You're not alone in that.
Oh man.
So, of course, Jim Henson performed Kermit from 1955 to 1990. Sam Whitman from 1990 to 2016.
Oh, Steve.
I'm sorry, Steve Whitmire. I gotta get there. I apologize, Mr. Whitmire.
We just pulled Sam. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. Matt Vogel has been doing it from 2017 to present. Mm-hmm. Arguably Jim Henson's most celebrated and iconic character, famous character.
Yeah. He's up there with like Mickey of like recognizable.
I think it's important to note too all these side appearances. Obviously, Sesame Street is a huge part of the story of Kermit, the arc of Kermit. Kermit showed up in a lot more cameos and a lot more things in other TV shows and other appearances that you didn't get to see a lot of the other Muppets. A lot of Miss Piggy too with that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Mm-hmm.
Kermit is, if you come across a person that has never heard of the Muppets, doesn't know what the Muppets are or anything like that, and you show them a picture of Kermit, the green frog.
That guy in the memes.
They know him.
The T.
They know Kermit.
That's
the bigness of this character.
He transcends outside of the Muppet universe.
Yeah. He's the glue of all things Muppet too.
Yes, he really is.
Not just on the Muppet Show, and certainly being the MC and really the
even in the stories.
But in the stories and the movies, and I think even just as a whole, like just even looking at these as just a side thing, it's just and as just a side thing, I think that he brings all of it together.
He really does. Yeah. Ever since I was little, I just immediately had that draw to him as a character.
You really teed me up because that's where I was going to go. I wanted to start with, because I know I like Kermit. There's lots of people that like Kermit out there. For you, he's special. There's something. When did that happen for you with him?
I I think it was when I like first saw like the original Muppet movie and just seeing him in that swamp like with his banjo was kind of like love at first sight kind of thing. Don't take it that way.
Know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just something so like safe in that character, and I mentioned very early on in our like episodes that I always had a draw towards like the characters that had the responsibility aspect to them, like Tommy Pickles-esque. And yeah, I just felt that draw to him, and I felt like safe in a way when he was on screen.
There is something so universal and yet so personal about Kermit.
Yeah.
And about the way that the character was created, and certainly about that scene. It's funny, he's in the middle of a swamp. It's in the middle of nowhere and all that and everything. And at the same time, there's something so, like, we feel like we're there with him.
Yeah.
Like, he's almost singing to us, or we're singing along with him, or something about that moment. Yeah. And I think you can maybe tie certain characters to this, maybe even certain actors or certain performances to this kind of thing. But it's almost as if he got us right there, and he's never lost us since.
Yeah.
You know, like an artist that comes out with a big hit first single,
yeah.
and even on their 10th album, you're still a fan.
Yeah.
You know, like
he's
just been able to do that for us and pull us in, and that opening scene is so iconic to me. Not just in like a kid's movie. It sets the tone for everything. Just in movies in general. Yeah. Like I think it is such an iconic, and you're right, not just for the movie, but for the Muppets going forward. It sets the tone.
I'm wearing my rainbow socks too.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, that's awesome. You have one of the coolest tattoo ideas I've ever thought of too. When it comes to
think about it all the time. I still really want to get it.
I want you to get it. I will pay for it. I want you to get it so much.
Patreon episode?
Yes.
Yeah, I really want to get it on like this part of my arm.
I think it's perfect.
And that kind of teased me up for my sentimental story of why I want to, part of why I want to get that. It is a little more like vulnerable, emotional, so if you're not into that, you can skip forward a little bit. So I think I was like 12 years old when this happened. My great-grandma passed away, and I was like there when it happened. She was in the hospital, and it was the first time I was like that close personally, but also in proximity, like in the same room of somebody who's passed away. So it was me, my mom, my cousin that I just mentioned, and his mom, my aunt, and my grandma, and my great-grandpa, and that happened. We're all very heartbroken and sad, and this was in Duluth, and then we drove like an hour or so back to Ashland where they lived, and we were all just really sad, and we were sitting in the living room, and we were in our own thoughts, and I'm only 12, and we're all just sitting there. I think I was sitting next to my mom, and she was like rubbing my head or something, and my cousin had a little ukulele, and he pulled up his map book, and he pulled up Rainbow Connection, and he just started singing it in Kermit's voice, and then we all were just kind of like, for a moment, like that sad thing didn't happen, and we were just singing that song, and to this day, like I sing that song when I'm just like not doing too hot, or even when I am doing great, I just sing that song. So that it means a lot to me, like this character and that song, and just the song itself is so beautiful. It's like pure poetry, like Shakespearean to me. It's so beautiful. So that's another reason why I want to get that tattoo. I'm okay.
I love you. I love you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
To the audio audience, I had to hug her. I love that story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, well, thank you for listening to it. Beautiful. I don't even know if my cousin or like anybody else remembers that, but it's so 12 is such a coming of age thing, so it's very prominent in my mind. I do think of like Matt and I want to have like one kiddo someday, and I think of like singing that song to them as like their little like rockabye song, and it's a song that fits so many situations, so many things, and it means something to like everybody who the Muppet universe has touched, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing song.
Interesting, but not too surprising. I think that my ties to Kermit, to that movie, to that scene, are similar, but not. I think for a lot of people, not just the Muppet universe, but movies and entertainment in general are certainly an escape and an opportunity to get away from reality, but not too far. You know, where you can still get back if you need to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And growing up with the childhood that I did, and the all the different craziness and chaos and all the insanity of my first dozen years on this planet and everything, there were not many light moments. There were not many chances to be a kid or to find humor or those things. I'm not trying to say there are plenty of people that had rougher lives than I did or anything. I'm not over trying to do it here or anything, but there weren't as many kids shows. There weren't as many things like that growing up. And certainly when you only had like one channel maybe you could watch or anything, and you didn't have cable or even TV for something. The Muppet movie, that scene, that place that they created, it was an escape. It was a chance to be involved and get enthralled and just immersed into a whole different world and universe that was very similar to mine. So there was some relatability that you thought you could bring into your world.
Yeah.
That you thought, well,
you carry it with you outside of that.
Look at what Kermit's doing. Look what Fozzie's doing and everything. I could do that in this world. And I'm not saying that you thought that actual thought, but subconsciously, if anything, if not in your subconscious heart, you had those feelings and that thought. And I think Kermit, I think one thing that maybe we don't give Kermit enough credit for, or credit at all for, is that he's inspirational.
He's very inspirational.
And
he doesn't try to be inspirational. He's the last person to say that I'm an inspiration. He's good at giving like a speech to try to hype up the people around him, because that's kind of just a part of his personality. But yeah, he's not like a look at me kind of guy. Yeah. Maybe that's where like both of us kind of see ourselves too within Kermit.
With the check marks we both have in your connection to him early on and seeing what you said before, clearly similar thing here with me. And so it was another thing, like we were saying with Sam the Eagle, for me when I first saw Kermit, and especially in the chaos of the Muppet Show behind the scenes. I always empathized with Kermit, and as much as I love the chaos and the silliness, I always felt a little bad for Kermit. And apparently my dad says, I don't remember this, but my dad says, one episode or something was going on where I was like, not yelling, but like talking to the screen. Like, come on guys, settle down.
Kermit's trying his best.
Kermit's trying. So.
Stop being so mean. It's interesting, like, there are all these very positive attributes about Kermit, but he also has some very, like, ironically human, I don't want to say flaws, but like, maybe not so. Like, he has commitment issues.
Yes, he does.
That's a big thing.
Yes, he does. That is a great one. That doesn't get brought up very much. No, but he does.
Yeah, because it's more so a trope of like, will they, won't they, kind of thing. But he does have some like commitment stuff that we don't really talk about.
I'm gonna do a classic, James overthinking, overanalyzing thing here, but
we love James's corner.
In some ways. There is so much more. We're learning more and more that, hey, there isn't just these categories when it comes to sexual preference or who we are as we identify. On the spectrum and everything. We're learning more and more that there are people who have a romantic heart, but maybe not a physical romantic heart, or those different things. Kermit is a little bit of whether he was intended to be that or not, is a little bit of that, especially with his relationship. He loves Miss Piggy. He wants to be with her. But you're right, he does have what we see as commitment issues, maybe something else. Maybe
wow.
Maybe he just doesn't love that way, or he doesn't. The love language is one of those things that I laughed at first, I'll be honest, and the more and more, the older I get, the more I realize
it's important to know.
It is, and also understanding too that there are probably no two people in the world that have the same love language. Like we all speak.
We all translate it differently.
We all share it differently. We all show it differently. Finding somebody that gets yours and that it works with and coexists with is really key to making a relationship. It's very seldom that you're going to find somebody who speaks the exact same love language as you.
You have to communicate that too.
And you may not want that. Some people don't want somebody another version of themselves, essentially.
Right.
I think that's where Kermit and Miss Piggy are so unique and such a typical and great example of a couple. Like they are very yin and yang, but they work. They're one of the more iconic couples. They've been together a long time.
Yes, very long time. It's interesting you say that about that perspective of Kermit, because that could also be another reason why I was kind of drawn to him, because I identify as being asexual on that spectrum. So that could be weird.
Really, really. It's
yeah.
getting deeper here. It's getting deeper here, y'all.
It's getting deep, folks. Where's Dr. Phil?
Love it. Oh, I love it. Let's get a real doctor. Not.
Right, yeah, he can analyze our
but
brains.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh man,
I want to drag these out so
know,
bad. I want this to be like a
5-hour
episode. It's finally here.
There's so many Kermit moments, and I don't want to like forget to say anything. But it's hard when you're when you're on the seat cushions and you're doing this.
I've been thinking about this, and I think maybe we're not able to do it. Maybe we don't do it with every single Muppet. But we just had the last episode where I hadn't seen the Muppet movie yet. Mm-hmm. We made plans, by the way, to we set a date. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna have movie night. But as we do that, or as we go along here, maybe we do revisit characters. Maybe we do come back and revisit them.
Yeah, just have like a Kermit-focused episode or something.
Because there's gonna be stuff that just didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's something to think about. Maybe we,
that.
when we do wrap up and get to that last one, maybe we could revisit some of these characters.
Yeah, let us know what you think of that.
Absolutely, please do.
Yeah.
And which ones you'd like us to revisit, and what new questions you'd like us to put in.
Yes. And I'm glad you said the last episode thing, because I meant to say this the last episode we had. So a while ago, I asked on Instagram for people to send us their Muppet stories of like how they became like in love with the Muppets and everything. And I thought reading those letters would be fun to do before we pull our last slip.
Oh, yes.
I think that would be really fun.
Oh, I think that'd be perfect. Yeah. Great idea.
And thank you to
Don't
everybody.
let us forget that.
Thank you to everybody who's sent us emails. I think we have 5 right now in our inbox, and I haven't touched them because I want us to like read them together. Yeah. So it's very organic.
I love that.
So if you have one, feel free to email us at whatthemuppet@gmail.com and title it Muppety Story or something like that, and let us know if you want us to say your name and your pronouns and all that good stuff.
Please send her an email with the headline Muppety Story or something. Please.
I dare you. Make me laugh. Okay. Oh, I keep dragging it out. Okay, this Muppet for Kirby. I just love him so much.
I know.
I'm so jealous of him that he got to put he got to wear Kermit. And
oh yeah, that's right. I can't
believe he got to do that.
That's so cool.
I love that he fixed him up too.
Yeah, he straightened his tie.
So
Tim's awesome.
I really enjoyed talking with him.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah, I would love to be able to talk with Tim again sometime.
Me too. Even like not about Muppet stuff. His life just seemed like really interesting.
He seems like a very interesting guy.
Yeah, and the way he speaks, I don't know. I think he has a good speaking voice.
Yes,
very. I enjoyed talking.
He actually had me rethinking like about the way I talk on the air sometimes and stuff. Yeah. I really appreciate his voice. Yeah.
We appreciate Tim.
Yeah, great guy. Oh, what do you got? What do you got there?
I'm gonna cry. I am going to cry. Would this Muppet make a good best friend?
Oh, of all the questions, Bria. Oh my God.
This is so weird.
Oh wow, wonderfully weird, wickedly, wonderfully weird.
This is it's too much. This is all Jim.
This is Jim at work, everybody. If we weren't certain before that Jim has a little bit to do with this show, just pushing things maybe this way or that. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Henson. Yeah. I'm gonna let you take this one.
Yes, he would make a good best friend.
Maybe the question should be, has he made a good best friend?
He has. But truthfully, I think so, because he's Fozzie's best friend, right? And I feel like everyone on the crew sees Kermit as like one of their best friends or their good friends. You can always come to Kermit, and he's not judgmental. Maybe he'll give you like his feedback if you ask for it, but a lot of the times he's listening. He's a good listener.
I'm sorry. You said that, and I don't know if I brought this up or if I remembered or not. But I didn't have a lot of toys growing up, but I had an old school Kermit.
I think you said I think you said before you had Ralph and a Kermit.
Yeah, he had Velcro hands.
Yeah.
And I always remember that because you could put the Velcro hands together, and I could put him over he'd go like almost like a backpack.
Oh, that's so cute.
And he was kind of like my toys because we moved around so much.
Yeah.
I had the moon, and I had a couple toys that I consider friends because
Oh,
I am that.
yeah.
Some of that stuff
so
as I say it out loud, I'm like, wait a minute, do I really want to put this out there?
Yes, we do.
It's too late. We don't edit.
No.
But and for me, part of that was his warm face, and he was such a, those eyes and everything about Kermit is just so kind and comforting. Yeah. So I think that alone would make him a great best friend. And you can trust him.
Yeah.
You know that Kermit is so. If you're counting on Kermit and he's not there, it's not his.
Wrong.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's so reliable, trustworthy.
Yeah.
He's got a good moral compass too.
He does. Yeah.
know?
He could steer you in the right direction. He's not afraid to tell you if you're doing something that's not in your best interest.
But at the same time, he can have fun. He
I was gonna touch on that. Yeah. Like that one Christmas clip of him on SNL, and he's just.
Oh, it's so great. So great. Kermit.
And he can have fun. Yeah, he's a fun guy.
One of his best memes is him, going crazy and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that he just doesn't get the opportunity to do that very
Yeah.
often. Being his best friend, I bet you get a lot of that. I bet you get a lot of chances
definitely.
like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Kermit, not only is that a perfect question, but that he'd be an almost perfect best friend.
I think so too. Oh, man. That was so weird.
That's so
Isn't that
interesting.
Weird?
If we were doing this show completely different, where we had designed, we're gonna do Kermit on this episode, and we're gonna put him in this situation and that. This is what we would pick. It's just crazy how improv and this is the first time this has happened, but I don't think it's ever happened like this much in sync.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
This is very impactful. Yeah.
Can't imagine what's coming up.
I'm nervous. Oh man.
So how about I just do this for 5 minutes while you talk and ramble about Kermit?
Well, I love. What was that voice that I did in that last episode?
Oh yeah.
Well, I really love Kermit because he's just he's a really good friend, and I just love him so much. And I'm embarrassed of myself.
So good. I love that. That was great. Whew. Oh wow. I think this is another good one. I don't know if it's the perfect one to come up, but I think it's a really good situation.
Oh boy.
Would you rather have this Muppet as your maid or your gardener?
Oh wow.
And that's so. I maybe not the perfect one, but in the sense it is because I don't think anybody's ever thought of Kermit like this.
No.
I think, and that's a real big part of this show is putting these characters in different scenarios and different situations and everything.
Oh, I think Kermit would be the cutest gardener in the world.
Yeah.
The cutest gardener. I think that there's actually a Muppet baby Kermit in the garden.
Yeah,
picture.
there is. There is. Now that he's got the little
Oh,
shovel and everything.
yeah,
Or is it him at the beach?
Probably both.
There's got to be one of both.
Yeah.
There's got to be one of both. But yeah, I think it'd be a great gardener.
I think he would have so much peace in the garden too. You can remind him of his swamp days.
I think that maid, butler, I think that Kermit would be the perfect at it. In fact,
he'd be a good butler.
When we were doing the whole thing, putting these characters in different movies and everything.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd about the superhero movies and stuff like a lot of people out there. And I was thinking about that with this, like Kermit as Iron Man and those things.
Oh man.
I like the idea of Kermit as in the Batman universe, but Kermit as Alfred.
He would be a good Alfred.
He'd be an amazing Alfred. I never thought of it. I wouldn't have thought of it right away.
That's the right role for him.
Yeah, because it'd be forced to put him as Batman.
It would.
Or almost any other character.
Yeah,
He's
he doesn't
too,
give these superhero vibes.
But very much like I was saying about R2-D2 in the Star Wars universe, Alfred is one of the more integral parts of the whole Batman lore. And he's. We don't get Bruce. We don't get Batman. Bruce Wayne doesn't even make it to the older age without Alfred. Alfred's his literal parent and guardian and everything, and he doesn't get the credit for that. It's part of the reason why I love the Christopher Nolan Batmans, because you get Michael Caine as Alfred, and there's been some
the best.
Yeah, there's been some great actors, including the great actor who played him in the Michael Keaton versions and everything, the Tim Burton versions. But I mean, it's Michael Caine, for God's sake. Who also, while we're recording this, It's his birthday today.
Really?
Yeah. Billy Crystal, Michael Caine share a birthday.
No way!
Yeah. There's a couple other big ones on that too. Yeah.
Holy buckets.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like Kermit as Alfred, and so I could see him as a good butler. I could see that. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I can't get the image of him in the gardening outfit
it's
out
pretty
of my
cool.
head.
Yeah.
I would love to see some art of that. Oh my gosh, or him as a little beekeeper.
Yeah, so beekeeping. That's
so
the hobby. So what would be Kermit's, like, I think this is getting a little bit towards that, the maid thing not as much, but gardening and all that, like Kermit's hobby, his outside, his release and all that. I like beekeeping as his release. I like that. That's pretty good.
As somebody who, I'm not like a super beekeeper or anything, Matt and I help my father-in-law with his bees. I really enjoy it. I find so much peace. Like, it's odd to say, but you get used to being around them. Nice. I find like a lot of peace in it, and it's very fulfilling too when you're like checking to see how they're doing and all that. And at first I was like semi-afraid because it's like thousands of bees that you're around, and you're like, they could sting me. They have every right to. But you almost find like a peace, like they're not gonna sting me if I'm just like being cool and we're all chill. And I think Kermit would be a really great beekeeper.
I like that. I also have known some people that do that, and they say how calming it is.
It really
I've
is.
heard that before.
It's so you wouldn't think it, but it really is.
I think it's cool that you have some interacting with that. That's awesome. I have a lot of respect for that, and of course love bees, appreciate bees. We're not here with we need bees.
We need
thank you bees. Thank the bees.
Shout out to bees.
Yes.
This episode's dedicated to bees everywhere.
I also love the idea of all of this that we've said about Kermit and beekeeping, while also him being like in the new Jason Statham, the beekeeper movies, and like him being like a secret agent and all that. Right. I like that part too. I really like the idea of action Kermit. Right, I want to see Kermit as Neo. I want to see Kermit like in all those roles. I mean, he'd bend really good. He really would bend very well.
I can see it in my head. Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Kermit, this is another beautiful part of this character, and the art of this character too. Is there anything you can't see him in?
Truthfully,
like anything.
You can insert him in a lot of stuff.
I can't think of a character. I can't think of a theme or a movie or anything where Kermit. Yeah, maybe it might be a little forced some places more than others, but it fit. It would work. Like I can't think of many like characters in like history that you could do that with, let alone in the Muppet.
Truthfully,
there's.
Again, him and Mickey are kind of like those type guys. Yeah,
it's a good one. That's a good Mickey. I could see that with too. Yeah, there's very few characters like that though. I mean, that's such a credit to the creative genius of Jim Henson.
Is there a favorite like Kermit role that he's played, or as Kermit himself in the Muppet universe, that's like one of your favorites?
Well, being the Star Wars fan I am, I like some of that. I'd like to see him more in the do other things, like some more pop culture, more modern stuff.
Yeah.
But nothing really stands out. I think I've enjoyed every scenario of him.
Yeah.
I love Kermit the MC. Yeah. That's the first Kermit I loved. That's the one that I really just especially now that I do a lot of that work, and I think of how much he literally influenced me in the world.
Isn't that funny how
it's weird to say, but he really did. I think so much of Kermit, and you touched on this maybe a bit too, whether it is in that way or in this way or that, so much of Kermit comes down to, you're okay.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, no matter what you are, no matter how weird you might think you are, anything like that. Just a reminder again, that's how you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You are what you're supposed to be. That's okay if you're weird. Guess what? We all are.
Yeah.
There's something, so because of that, I think that it makes it really easy to scenario him in almost anything.
Yeah. That was really beautifully said. Yeah, I think you'd say you are okay and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, and there's such a presence and calm to him about that you can see him in these, while also at the same time, I like the idea of him. Jason Statham, great actor, great, I think a good actor, and definitely a very, very good action actor. I like him bowing out, and then the beekeeper too, Kermit.
Just like big letters, big green letters, Kermit. I think before we pull out the Patreon hat, it's hard to say one of my favorite Kermit moments, because like, I love him in anything, kind of like what you said. There isn't a role that he's done that I haven't enjoyed thoroughly. But there's a quote that he says in the Muppet movie, and I don't want to get it wrong because it's like so impactful, and I say it to myself sometimes. But it's when he, like, the bus broke down and they're in the desert and he's kind of walking out and he's talking to himself. And he says something like, I didn't promise anyone, I promised me. And that just hit me so hard because I don't know, because at the end of the day, like, he's trying to stay true to himself all the time while also, like, encouraging everybody else. But it's just very inspiring and keeps me going.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of good Kermit quotes.
The original, I wanted to make sure to get this before the episode wrapped up. I was listening, and I really appreciate that. The original Kermit puppet is at the National Museum of American History.
Oh, cool.
And it's so unique. It's so different than what we originally would come to see.
He doesn't have the collar.
Doesn't have the collar.
Yeah.
But the draw of the face and the eyes are, especially with the way that he did the pupil, is very similar. And I'm just showing the podcast audience a little of this right here. Maybe you can put a picture up of it or something. But the Kermit the Frog puppet was created, of course, by Jim Henson in 1955 for Sam and Friends. It is the first Kermit puppet, and it is made from Jim Henson's mother's old spring coat and a pair of Jim's blue jeans. Henson used ping pong balls for the eyes. Kermit started as a lizard-like character and evolved into a frog over time. I just want to make sure to get that in there.
Yeah,
I don't think we can get this all done without that. And you mentioned, this is just complete symmetry in the way our brains work. But before, right as you were saying that about a quote, I was looking up a quote from the Muppet movie.
Really?
And I just wanted to make sure to get it right too.
Oh wow! What was yours?
It's the quote that I think encompasses all of this. And really, I think you could say if you had to have a quote that covered the Muppet universe, I think this is it.
I have a guess in my head of what it is. Okay.
Dream that gets better the more people you share it with.
Yeah.
It's the essence of everything we're doing, and how this all, we've talked about it a couple times, that, this started out as something for us fun to do together, and here it is, that this dream is so much better with all of you.
Yeah, that's what makes it the dream.
Oh,
Aww.
yeah.
Oh man, I don't want this episode to end.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do about now is we're just gonna ramble and talk for about an hour, and then we'll pull it.
All of our Kermit stuff.
We're gonna get it all out. It's you.
Oh, right.
Take your time. How you been? Really? We really haven't gotten to really chance to ask you that. Things all right? Things you've been doing all right? What have you been up? Have you heard any good music lately? Have you?
Oh yeah.
I'll stop.
I listened to this one album, and let's just play the whole album.
You know what? We should do that.
Let's sing it in Kermit's voice.
I love that hat, by the way.
Thank you. I'm just gonna prolong this also. I got that hat when I was in Madison. I was a little sick GI kid, so I went to Madison Children's Hospital a lot when I was a teenager. And on one of my trips, we stopped at the store, and my sister and I got bear hats to just kind of brighten things up. So I would wear that panda hat during some of my blood work appointments to try to make the blood what do they call them? The
the IV or
the people who put the needle in.
Oh yeah.
Phlebotomist,
yes.
To try to make them smile.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. In that moment for you were trying to make them smile.
Yeah.
That is so you, Bria.
Oh,
that is such like I said, that is almost the most definitive story of you. It's really, really you. I had the first surgery I ever had. I had my adenoids and tonsils taken out, and I had just moved up here, and I was really young, and the doctors couldn't find a vein in my arm, so they brought Nana in because Nana was a nurse, and so she has to put the needle in me.
I didn't know that she was a nurse.
My grandmother, yeah.
They let her put the needle in?
Yeah, never get away with
this
now. Yeah, very different time. It is so much to the point that I'm not even going to say the hospital that this happened at or anything. I'll never forget the look on her face where she just she was horrified to have to do this to me.
Yeah.
So I was trying to make faces at her and trying to make her laugh while she's putting needles in me. I'm trying to make her laugh.
Oh, wow.
That's a chick.
Transcends. Oh my gosh, that's precious.
It's just I just think it's interesting that we're those kind of people.
Yeah.
But that's one of those check marks I didn't realize we had.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't even think I realized I was that kind of person until seeing it in you. Yeah.
Well, we have another Patreon question from Asa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you to all of our Patreon friends.
Yes, thank you guys. Would you want to host a morning radio show with this Muppet? That is a little head nod to you because you are the voice of the Wisconsin Rapids. Go ahead, plug yourself.
That's very nice of you. I am one of the voices, one of the people behind our radio stations at WFHR and WIRI, particularly AM 1320 and 97.5 FM here in Wisconsin, or over in Wisconsin Rapids. You can listen to us at WFHR.com. We're on 8 to 10 every morning. We also have a couple of other shows we do, but that's the main morning show that we do. Mm-hmm. I've been doing for about 7 or 8 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm very spoiled. I've had nothing but great co-hosts over the years. I currently have Melissa and Seth as my right and left hand. They change who's who amazing. From sometimes. Yeah, they're more talented, funny, and smarter than I am. Oh, so that was a real mistake on my part.
Oh my gosh.
Krusty the Clown taught us that you never hire people that are better than you. But I'm really spoiled with those two. Yeah. That being said, I would absolutely 100%. There's no way in the world.
Great together.
And not only that, though, I actually like the idea of Kermit being in my chair and working with Seth and Melissa. Aww. I like the idea of him being the host and working with them. Kermit would be a lot of fun. I will say, though, yes. I think we're almost too much alike. And that part, actually, I think that it would be better if it was him hosting with those two, with my other co-hosts and everything, or whoever. There's a lot of great morning shows out there nationally. And everything. So I like the idea of him hosting a show. I think Kermit would be a perfect host because he's a great MC.
He has good host energy.
Yeah, we already know he can do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'd be a great co-host. He'd be fantastic. The only problem with doing it with me is, though, I think that it'd be almost too much of the same person. I could see myself like being not myself more, just to try to change things up a little bit.
Which Muppet do you think would be a good co-host with you then?
With
that in mind.
Oh, in that case, I think Fozzie would be a good one. I think that he'd be a little bit more of the yang. He'd be more of the the yang to my yin or whatever. Miss Piggy would be a good one too.
I would devour that.
I think that Miss Piggy might be the perfect one.
I think she would make you blush.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I like those. Of course, I'm doing everything I can not to say Gonzo. I'm trying so hard not to go to the easy, low-hanging fruit that I want to. But Rizzo would make a great co-host.
My gosh.
Oh my God.
That's it.
No, this is
you
it.
And Rizzo.
Not just Rizzo, but Rizzo and Pepe. Rizzo and Pepe and me doing a show together, and I'm the straight man, and it's just those two. Yeah. Or how about Kermit with those two, with Rizzo and Pepe?
Oh man, I don't think Kermit would be able to get a word in.
No.
People would forget that Kermit was on the show.
Yeah.
Be like, oh yeah, who's that other guy? You and Rizzo would get into so many little.
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah,
little bickering.
And we're going to commercial break. Well, at the same time, laughing together.
And then you guys come back from commercial. You guys are already.
We got our arms over each other. Well, we're all right.
I gave him some cheese. Yeah, he's fine.
What about you? You've even outside of this, of course, I know that you haven't done any new episodes recently, but you can go back and check out the archives and check out the old episodes of Hi Ho Pistachio, everybody. Subscribe to that. Check it out. Rhea has a great interview and had some wonderful guests on.
Thank you.
Would you, you don't really have a co-host on that show, but you interact with it almost feels like your guests become, in the episode, are kind of co-hosting with you.
Yeah.
So I think you two would interact really well together.
I think so
you guys would. You may run into the same problem I do, but I think you would really like working together. Is there, if not a podcast or a morning show, is there a dream scenario for you and Kermit where you guys team up? Guys team up and you're working together on this project or this. It doesn't have to be just one answer,
right.
But you write a script together. You're going to play together, or you and Kermit save the world, or something.
Me and Kermit just coexist together.
You guys go on a road trip together.
Yeah.
You and Kermit on a road trip.
He's our permanent roommate with Matt and I.
Yeah.
Matt might get left out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you had a good run, man. You had a good,
No.
Is there something for you and him that you could see as like a lot of fun to do together?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of something that that we could collaborate on. That would be fun. I think maybe like writing a play together.
Yeah.
Or something like along those lines, and then we could direct it together.
Yes.
I think that would be really fun.
Ooh, you and Kermit directing together, co-directing would be really good.
I think that's where we would like shine the most of having, because we would have different styles of directing that wouldn't hit each other, but they would like blend in together nicely.
It's so hard collaborating, and it's so wonderful when you find it work, because it's not just somebody that thinks a little like you or could have a different set of eyes on something and give a different take on it, but also somebody who gets you, and you're on the same page even when you're not.
Yeah,
and I think you and Kermit would have that. You
understand each other.
Yeah, I think even when you guys maybe didn't see eye to eye, you would be able to still collaborate and work and get through that particular moment or whatever, and come around on the other side of like, oh yeah, you were right, that actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think you guys would be really good together.
That's so sweet. Oh my gosh, I don't want this to end.
No, and it's not going to. You may notice as you're pulling up the podcast that there isn't a ticker, because this episode will not end.
No,
there is no time limit on this.
Now.
Yes, this is where we are. This is who we are.
You're gonna have to call in about that meeting.
Yep. Sorry. Oh, I'm already late for it. I guarantee you. I'm not even gonna look at the clock.
Oh my gosh.
I want to come back to something too, because I really think we had a good idea there, and I love the idea of when we do pull out that last name and that hat, revisiting characters.
Yeah.
I think that we will definitely revisit Kermit and Gonzo,
Yeah.
but we'd love to know other characters that you'd like us to revisit.
Yes, please.
Scenarios and situations and questions we can ask them, different things, because we don't want to pull out the same things. We would maybe do it a little differently.
Yeah.
So let us know which ones you'd like to, and we'll do our homework and have a little, maybe when we revisit these, have a little more details with them.
Ooh, yeah, we can have like a prepared
it's planned,
sheet
prepared
something.
And stuff. So
yeah, we could have that as like a little buffer between seasons, because I do have an idea for season 2 of this is the longest first season.
It's so great. I love it.
Yeah, but we love it.
And it means that we don't have to say goodbye. That this isn't the last time we'll be featuring Kermit, and he won't, and all that. So that way we'll have him back.
Oh,
so.
Yeah, that makes it a little easier to say goodbye.
I definitely was thinking of that. Yeah,
there's so many Kermit moments that are just flying through my head that when you wake up from a dream and like you can see it in your head, but you can't say it out loud.
Yeah.
That's what's happening to me.
And you, like all these characters, we have, I'm driving home or you're doing something and we think of something.
Darn it.
Imagine with this one.
Oh,
there's going to be a billion of them.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
Before we even turn this episode off and it's not hit end of the recording, oh wait, there's going to be something. Yeah. So we'll revisit this.
Yeah.
We'll definitely bring this one back.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this trip and for hearing all of our stories, and we want to hear your stories too. So like I said, if you want to email us, go right ahead, or just message us on Instagram or wherever.
For many of us, the first scene that we ever get of the Muppet universe is that opening scene in the movie that we were referencing earlier.
Yeah.
So for a lot of us, we're not even here without this character, without Kermit. And I think that has a real nice feeling to it, because Bree and I wouldn't be here and in your guys' lives and doing all this without you reaching out to us and being a part of things. So it all comes full circle, and it really all comes down to just what we were saying before, this dream and sharing it with others, and that's what really makes the dream true.
One big rainbow connection.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys. You guys are the best. We'll catch you next time.